What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. OG here, and I want to go over the most important time in the history of Konami football games. Over 30 years, which we are celebrating now with the 30th anniversary promo within efootball. But there was one particular period of time that must be remembered because it was the birth of true realism. The realism that we all are addicted to, at least us true footballers are addicted to within efootball, that keeps us coming back no matter what Konami does nowadays to sell out for greed. We have to play this football game because it is the only true to football game. The other games are not even close. And there was a time when this all came together perfectly. I am talking about the original PlayStation era. This is where you can see the signature, weight of the players, ball movement, shooting, passing, all of it come to life. When you pick up the sticks, you can feel the true passion, the true beauty of the beautiful game. So let's hear from Mr. Marlon Anthony on this amazing time period where Konami must have felt proud of what they put out for their fan base.
Over the summer of 1999, the greatest football game of the 20th century was released. The pinnacle of PlayStation football, ISS Pro Evolution, the pilot of the series' permanent branding for the next 20 years with premiere here. ISS Pro Evolution is rightly remembered for being the game that truly defined the essence of footballing simulation and established that realistic football can be done, least of all on what we now know as primitive hardware. The ambition was there with ISS Pro. Its on-pitch structure was strengthened in '98, but Pro Evolution was the truly impactful revision the series was waiting for all along, come the 5th generation of consoles. The contextual fundamentals of football are polished here, such as the improvement of the 1-2 pass from ISS Pro 98. Dribbling receives more attention as flair is represented respectfully for the first time, as well as the debut of the shot feint mechanic, a welcome addition giving strikers an additional edge in their duels with goalkeepers. A staple of PES is its Master League mode, which also makes its debut in its earliest incarnation. In this case, the 16 best teams in Europe compete in somewhat of a Super League, a long-time fantasy of UEFA's for many years, but Konami had the bragging rights of actually fulfilling it. It's in this manner club teams officially appear for the first time in the series, although exclusive to this mode. Yet whatever team you choose to campaign as, your superstars are swapped out for the first class of the Master League defaults. The idea of which is to persevere with your minnows while you transfer in better players over time to strengthen your squad until you have your own dream team. Due to there being only one sole division, there is no promotion or relegation, just an endless loop of league purgatory. However, much like on-field gameplay, the Master League would be a mode that would receive just as many refinements in the coming year. The creator's favourite, Edit Mode, receives an upgrade. Now renaming player names is made slightly easier due to the fake identities being far more obvious to classify, mostly due to them being correct when pronounced. The gateway for a boot fetish is opened here too. For the first time, we may change the colour of players' footwear. Before being blessed by the sheer ease of sharing moments via social media and YouTube, you could get away with bragging about your wonder volley from 50 yards that conveniently nobody was around to see. Unfortunately for the Jays of the in-betweeners,
Championship manager, completed it, mate.
You can't complete it.
Yeah, I know, but
there was no excuse not to back up your claim as the innovation of saving your goals debuts in ISS Pro Evolution. Simply saving your iconic strikes to a memory card, taking them to a friend's house and showing it off on a different PS1 other than your own was truly revolutionary in 1999.
It's truly remarkable how far we've come from that time period. I mean, you can see the resemblance as you watch the original PlayStation era of Konami's football games to their current era, which is on the screen now. The realism that they put in the game even then, as we entered the new millennium, a time when we literally thought computers might end the world, and you had Konami bringing such high levels of realism onto the sticks. I mean, not long before this, we were going from 2D to 3D, and now you're picking up the sticks and you feel like you are playing the game with true to life players. I mean, for that time, it was unheard of, the type of football that Konami brought into the game. And EA Sports could always, especially for the youngsters that they always won over more, we know that, they could give the glitz and the glamour and that arcade feel that many were going for at the time. However, if you were a true footballer, true football fan, you loved Konami's version of the beautiful game. And one of my favorite part of this documentaries is because it brings you back to memories you don't even recall until you watch this nostalgia in a video. And so during this, I remember my introduction to a mode that fans to this day want back in the game, Master League. This was my introduction to a mode that nowadays when I hear about how bad the players want it back in the game, and I don't really have an interest in it, I don't even recall, until I watch this video, ever playing the Master League to see what all the hype was about. However, I actually was part of the original Master League, which took place in this same era of Konami's football gaming. Like I said, and like many of you, right? We didn't pay attention to EA Sports or Konami or titles of the game. We looked at the box, right? We turned the box over and we looked at some of the pictures. We read what they said and we go, this looks awesome. And we brought it home and played. And Master League was one of those things that made us say, this looks awesome. It was before its time. Even the club team tournament where you could go in and edit however you wanted to, create your own superstar players, give them whatever names you wanted. I mean, it was incredible. So then to be able to do that using your imagination, but then go out onto the pitch and actually have a huge boost to your imagination with the most realistic football gaming on the pitch. I mean, it was the best time in football gaming, without a doubt, because it was so new. You never felt that true weight of passing, right? That true weight of the movement of players like you did in this era of football gaming. I talked about all of these amazing moments from game after game after game, and then especially from console after console after console. Well, the original PlayStation era was that big jump, right? The biggest between PlayStation to 2 to 3 to 4 and the original Xbox to the next to the next to the next. I was always a PlayStation guy, but across the board, this was the biggest and the best time period because of the amazement, because of that feeling that there was no limitations to where this could go. You started dreaming about what could come to these games, and we didn't have to wait long to see.
The final mainline ISS game on the PlayStation is released in March 2001. With the foundations laid with its revolutionary predecessor, and with the industry-defining next-generation console on the horizon, ISS Pro Evolution 2 doesn't reinvent the football-shaped wheel drastically, but rather refines it, with further quality of life improvements, some of which are even memoed in the game's main menu. Master League 2.0 is extended. Now you begin your journey in the second division, and at least you have a target: promotion to the first. The mode welcomes extra teams such as Leeds, West Ham and River Plate. The now iconic Master League Originals debut. Our lifelong fondness of our underdogs such as Ivanov, Jimenez, Miranda and Costello all began here on its PS1 swan song. The Japanese version actually released 6 months earlier, showcasing the under-23 national teams set against the backdrop of the 2000 Sydney Olympics. The second time Konami would honour a real-life event with their native version since World Cup '98. 1 month later, North America would get their own exclusive authentic edition, showcasing the now 4-year-old MLS. 2001 was the end of an era, but also the beginning of an even bigger one. In one console generation, we've gone from this to this.
So there you have it, and it is truly incredible for me to see the history that was being made at this time. Little did I know when I was playing these games that this was the mark of a turn towards the football games that I'd be playing and be passionate about decades later, right? Not a decade later, decades later. It was the start of true realism, taking what Konami loved from the beautiful game and adding it into a video game. That is something spectacular that ended up being the catalyst for the golden era of my time playing PES, right? The last of the number games before they started going with the years, the 2007, 8, 9, whatever it was. And that is the magic that this Marlon Anthony masterpiece brings. This history of PES sparks these memories that you haven't thought of for so long. They're just kind of laying dormant in your mind. But then, when you rehash them, you realize that all of these different games, all of these different major marks in the history of Konami's incredible franchise are actually the mold of what you became as a football gamer today. Which is why I always say that these rats couldn't have come from this era of gaming. There's no way, because it is just too pure, right? Their foundation in football gaming is too pure if they come from this era to play like an absolute rat. However, maybe they lost their way, and maybe this series, if they come across it, can bring them back to the true meaning of football gaming, to the true meaning of Konami's football games. Like I said, they may have sold out to greed, but we, the players, are what makes these games. And the beauty of it is we are just getting started, both in our journey to bring this game back to its roots and also in this amazing series that traces the history of how we got to where we are. So if you like this video and want to see more, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It would be much appreciated. We would also like you to join our Discord. The link is in the YouTube bio. A great community, and you would be a great addition. As always, keep grinding, keep having fun. I will see you on the next one as we travel into the PlayStation 2 era of this franchise. See you then. Peace out.